Live from West Virginia's capital city with news from across the state. This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law, with 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron and Metro News' Dave Allen.
Welcome in to the 2 o'clock hour, final hour. It's Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. We'll get to Open Line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. It's Metro News Midday.
Metro News Midday is presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com. Join in by calling 800-765-8255 or text 304-TALK-304. Let's go live to downtown Charleston. Here's Dave Allen.
Welcome into a Thursday edition. It is Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. What a difference 24 hours makes as far as the weather goes. Yesterday we had snow. Today we had snow here in the Charleston area and some other areas where you are as well. Yesterday we had showers, thunderstorms, so on and so forth, and temperatures in the 80s. And, we had a little snow here in the Charleston area earlier. Saw a video clip of the nation's capital, D.C., pouring the snow there. It's welcome to March in our part of the country. We'll get to Open Line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. It was about a month or so ago, I guess, that 60 Minutes did yet another spotlight on McDowell County and some of the issues that they have down there. It made nationwide, made worldwide news. Of course, we talked about it a lot on this show. And I said it at the time, it would be different if this were not the first expose that had been done on southern West Virginia, particularly on McDowell County, because it's been done before. It's been done by 60 Minutes before. And no matter how much of a spotlight is put on it, it seems like to me, not to be overly critical, because you got boots on the ground that are doing some incredible work down there. But overall, a lot doesn't seem to change. And one guy who knows about that is Pastor Brad Davis. And he, of course, you saw him spotlighted on that 60 Minutes piece about a month or so ago. And he joined us, I think, on the day or so after. He joins us again today, where he's actually doing, I think, a water distribution today. Pastor Davis, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dave. Good afternoon. Great to be with you. Yeah, I'm down here giving out water and experiencing weather whiplash, just like you.
A little windy out there, too. That's what we're dealing with right now. All right, so here's what you're going to tell me, Brad. You're going to tell me that since that 60-minute piece aired a month or so ago, it shined a national spotlight on it. Everybody at the state capitol did what they're supposed to do. Troops came in. Everything is taken care of, and the water is pristine in McDowell County. That's what you're going to tell me now, right?
And then we all woke up and looked at reality. Yes. But in a perfect world, Dave, that is what would have happened. But no, we're still down here trying to do what we can to make sure that our neighbors have safe water, and still in the halls of the Capitol, advocating for that to happen, for emergency funding for our neighbors down here with our lawmakers.
Now, I don't know a lot about this, but last hour, Pastor, we had State Treasurer Larry Pack on the show. And we were talking about the water issues and so on and so forth. And he threw out a figure, and I've known Larry Pack for a long time, and I'm not going to question this, but I want to get your take on it. He said that there is somewhere in the neighborhood of about $75 million in an account that could help out down there, because when he was with the Justice Administration, and of course Jim Justice went to D.C. and now the Morrissey administration in charge, he said there was money left in that account. He estimates that there is about $70 million or so. And State Treasurer Pack said, turn loose of some of the money. Are you aware of this?
I am not, but I'm all for it. I second Mr. Pack's motion there. Let's get some of that, if not all of that money down here.
Yeah, I don't want to seem like I'm throwing the current legislators or administration on the bus, because I don't know exactly what all goes into that. Could be earmarked for just certain things. I don't know. But anytime somebody throws out a figure of $70 million, and you see what folks in McDowell County, where you are, and other areas are dealing with, you're like, how about we open up the checkbook? That's the faraway view, Pastor.
No, you're absolutely correct. Just in the 9 southern coalfield counties, Dave, to fix what needs to be fixed currently is going to take over 450 million. Statewide, it's something like 10 billion just for water. That doesn't include wastewater. So yeah, I mean, 75 million wouldn't fix everything, but it would put a dent in it. It'd be a really good start.
It'd be a really good dent.
Yep.
Yeah. We're talking with Pastor Brad Davis. So you said that you're out in Gary right now and you're battling the weather whiplash from yesterday and the wind and so on and so forth. What specifically are you doing down there today?
Yeah, so twice a month, Dave, we give out water to the residents of Gary. Gary is one of the 3 water-impacted communities in the county that I have churches located in. So we give water. We do water distributions in those communities on a regular basis every month. Today was our first distribution in March. We usually try to do both of them towards the end of the month, middle to the end of the month, just because that's when folks are kind of strapped for cash. Folks who are having to buy bottled water to make up for the lack of safe water coming out of their taps. So yeah, we get our water and give it out to the folks here at Gary City Hall on a twice a month basis, and then we're also up at Anawalt giving water out as well.
And if people around the country saw that 60 Minutes piece, and even folks in West Virginia that don't struggle with these water issues, one would think when you hear you say, well, it's getting close to the end of the month, or it's middle of the month, and the money's starting to run out, and budgets are getting tight, and so on and so forth. I mean, people in a lot of places would probably say, well, just go to the spigot and turn the faucet and get more water. If only it were that simple.
Right. The problem with that is that here in Gary and in other locations throughout McDowell County and throughout southern West Virginia, central Appalachia more broadly, turning on the spigot entails or results rather in discoloration of water when it comes out of the tap, foul smelling water that will irritate your skin, water that is undrinkable. Water that contains sediment. So therefore, boiling it isn't going to help. So that's what you're dealing with when you're turning on the taps in these water-impacted communities.
Once that piece aired a few weeks back, Pastor, on 60 Minutes, I'm sure you became a man in demand with people reaching out, from all around the country. What was the response that you got? We talked to you a day or so after it aired, and we were getting the 24 to 48 hour response. But now that some time has passed, what was the response that you got from people who saw that piece on 60 Minutes now that we're a month or so out?
Yeah, I've said this to several different folks. I must be the most naive person on the planet because I did not anticipate the response that was coming from that, because I'm still trying to answer all of the emails and texts and Facebook messages, phone calls, phone messages that resulted from that. And the response has been overwhelmingly positive in the sense that the vast majority of people that have reached out to me are just asking, what can we do to help? They're basically saying, we saw the segment on 60 Minutes. It horrified us that people in the United States of America in 2026 are having to live like this. What can we do to help?
And what do you tell them when they say, what can we do to help? Because it's not look, people can bring down cases of water. They can do what you're doing today, sir. And when your volunteers, I'm sure, that are helping, they can do that. But that doesn't fix the problem. I mean, that is a Band-Aid on the issue, in my opinion, sir.
No, you are absolutely correct. Giving out cases of bottled water to folks is a Band-Aid. The solution, quite frankly, it comes down to funding, what we talked about just a few moments ago. Massive amounts of funding and, quite frankly, emergency funding. Currently, I think there's something like $76 million in the budget, the state budget, for water and wastewater infrastructure. 46 million of that is guaranteed, and I think it's 30 million on the back end if there's a surplus. that helps, obviously, but that's also statewide. That money is not earmarked for any particular region of the state or any particular project in the state. And in my estimation, and call me out bias if you want to, that's fine. But in my estimation, down here in the southern coal fields is where the need is most urgent. This is a public health emergency happening here, and we need emergency funding.
Yeah, I'm talking to Brad Davis again. All right, and so I watched that piece live, Pastor, and like a lot of people did on a Sunday night on CBS a couple of I guess a month or so ago, and I watched that, and they always tell us in the business, don't read the comments. But I went and I read the comments and I'm talking about on the 60 Minutes piece, okay? I mean, and so this is what, and of course, everything turns political because everybody said, well, this is what you get when you vote for Trump. And look, I'm not taking sides either way. I'm a registered independent, but I am saying this is not a problem that just happened. This is a problem that's been happening year after year. As I said, this is not even the first piece 60 Minutes has done down there. So this is not just something that you can look at one person, one party, Republican, Democrat, or whatever, and say this is your fault. There's a lot of fault to go around here, sir.
Agreed. As I like to say, Dave, the neglect of southern West Virginia, and in particular the southern coal fields, has been a bipartisan affair for generations. Our water has been bad here for decades, reaching back 50, 60, 70 years. The GOP, the state GOP, assumed complete control of the state in 2014. But prior to that, the Democrats were in charge for 80 years, and the water was bad then too. And on the federal level, you're talking about multiple administrations under of multiple of both parties,
Republican, Democrat, back and forth.
Correct, and nothing has ever changed. So yeah, it's not a partisan issue. It's a neglect issue, and both parties, both sides of the political spectrum, have to shoulder the blame for the neglect.
What we know, because you're very vocal, sir, and you're a regular at the Capitol, and I know you do a lot of interviews like this. And the second time that you've been on our show, you're always welcome here anytime. But what do the people that don't have a pulpit say? I mean, I didn't mean no pun intended with you being a minister. I'm not that smart, trust me. So they don't have that microphone. They don't have the ability. People aren't knocking on their doors to do interviews. What do they say about the situation there?
Dave, folks I think there's a little glimmer of hope now with folks, at least from what I hear from locals, in that finally, more of a spotlight is being shown on what is happening here. And it appears anyway, although the legislature, took no real significant impactful action during this session to address the issue, it was at least in my memory, the water was talked about more during this session than any recent session that I can remember. So we think that at least, if nothing else, the needle is starting to move in the right direction. Momentum is beginning to build. Voices are being heard, and sooner or later, our legislature is going to have to act.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be pessimist, but I understand completely what you're saying. But you say it's at least being talked about. So I guess those people that you're handing out water to in Gary today, we just hand them a case of water and go, "Hey, it's being talked about." And I'm not trying to be flippant about it, but
right. And that's the thing, Dave. There was some positives to come out of this session in that. There was some legislation introduced that didn't make it through the process. There was some water funds put in the budget. There's been a request for a significant amount of money for next year's budget that will be taken up for next session. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, the suffering continues. Nothing has been done to alleviate the suffering of the people here on the ground, and that's inexcusable.
Pastor Brad Davis, it is always a pleasure to have you on the show, and I know I took you away from your duties of handing out water there in the community of Gary today, but we'll have you back on the show real soon. Keep doing great things, my friend. We'll talk soon.
Dave, always a pleasure. Thank you, sir. Have a great one.
You as well. 2:21. I will tell this story here really, really quick. When I was in a different role I was not doing this radio show. I was actually working in state government. And we had a little business, I don't want to say a business trip, but we were working on a project through an organization like Small Business Administration, something like that. And we were working with a program with some students from Harvard University, and they had come down to West Virginia, not to do what everybody else does as far as taking pictures and looking, how these poor hillbillies down here, anything like that. They were here to actually learn and talk to people. And we were driving, and this wasn't in McDowell County, but we were driving through southern West Virginia. We had a big passenger van, like a church van type thing with probably, 10, 15 people on it. And we rolled into this one community, and there was water that was coming off the hill. And if you're in southern, maybe it's this way in northern West Virginia, I saw it everywhere growing up in southern West Virginia. There were people lined up. They'd driven their cars there, ridden their bikes, taking their four-wheelers there, whatever, and they had gallon jugs, and they were taking water that was running off the mountain, off the spring, and filling up their water jugs with it. And we pulled over to the side, and I remember one of the young ladies asked me, she was from California, and she asked me, she goes, what are they doing? And I explained to her, well, certain areas don't have potable water, so they save their milk jugs, their other water jugs, whatever, and they come and they literally stick the jugs next to the mountainside, and they catch the water. They go home and they bathe in it. They cook with it. They do whatever they have to do with it. And I just remember that dumbfounded look on her face. She was like, and I forget what year it was. It was like 10 years or so ago. And she brings that up. And I guess as somebody who grew up in West Virginia and has lived my entire life here, I just thought that's the way it was everywhere. And this was this lady, and there were several of them that looked at me like, what is going on here? And I guess I just thought, well, that's just what everybody does. I didn't have to do that, luckily, growing up, but certainly in areas around me, I saw a lot of it. I don't know. You just kind of thought, well, that's just what everybody does. Well, guess what? Step outside West Virginia and some other areas in Appalachia, it's not what everybody does. 2:24, and we got Open Line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. We'll take a break now and come back after this.
At Glenville State University, we are pioneers. With over 45 undergraduate degree programs, 17 NCAA athletic teams, and countless campus organizations and activities, we're here to help you build your story while becoming a part of ours. Glenville State University, your dream, your future, your story. Visit glenville.edu today for more information.
Worried about paying for college? Metro News is proud to present the 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program, where one high school junior in West Virginia will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College, including room, board, tuition, and fees. For details, go to wvmetronews.com and click the Apply Now button. Deadline is May 3rd. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program, presented by Greer Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. Go to wvmetronews.com and apply today by May 3rd.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Longer days, warmer
West
drives,
Virginia
and better
Outdoors
deals
is the
at
Mountain State's
DeAncapa
only hook
GMC.
and bullet radio
Hit the
show
road in one of our
dedicated to the
new
more than
luxury
$250,000
GMC
hunters and anglers
enthusiasts.
across.
All this and more at DeAncapa GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the road.
It all comes down to
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. It makes you feel defeated. I'm just gonna be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not gonna be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
Hardwood Heat meets the Mountain State in Charleston. The 2026 West Virginia Girls High School Basketball State Championships, presented by Chick-fil-A. Saturday, March 14th. Every possession, every roar of the crowd, every championship moment live on Metro News Television, powered by GoMart. Watch on mobile, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select Samsung Smart TVs. Details at wvmetronewstv.com to get in the action.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at wvhtf.org.
On the next State of Minds.
I came here to Morgantown, the WVU. I wanted to play football. Tried to walk on, but I was humbled very quickly. So I joined the WVU forestry team. What my father taught me was the importance of hard work and the importance of sweat equity.
It all comes down to this in Charleston. The 2026 West Virginia Boys High School Basketball State Championships, presented by Chick-fil-A. Saturday, March 21st. Every possession, every roar of the crowd, every championship moment live on Metro News Television, powered by GoMart. Watch on mobile, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select Samsung Smart TVs. Details at wvmetronewstv.com to get in the action.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off, or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. Makes you feel defeated. I'm just gonna be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not gonna be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
You want to know what West Virginia is talking about?
It's good to be back in Morgantown today.
Now it's different.
I think it's mostly just business.
What I voted for and what I think makes the most sense.
Well, Dave, this has been a
bit of a controversy.
I want to thank the caller last week that said I sounded like Hoppy Kurtzwell. That was flattering.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talk Line on Metro News Television. It all comes down to this in Charleston. The 2026 West Virginia Boys High School Basketball State Championships presented by Chick-fil-A. Saturday, March 21st. Every possession, every roar of the crowd, every championship moment. Live on Metro News Television, powered by GoMart. Watch on mobile, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select Samsung Smart TVs. Details at WVMetroNewsTV.com to get in the action.
For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Hi, I'm Zach Hupp, project manager with CEC. After graduating from Glenville State College, I took over my dad's surveying business. It was fulfilling, but when CEC came calling, I knew it was an opportunity I couldn't refuse. With CEC, I'm reaching clients I never dreamed of and seeing projects through to completion. It's more than a job, it's a new chapter. At CEC, we engineer progress in the great state of West Virginia.
Find out what CEC can do for you. Visit cecinc.com.
If you have a child who's a junior in high school in West Virginia or know someone that does, please listen up. Here's your opportunity to win a full scholarship from West Virginia Wesleyan College that includes room, board, tuition, and fees. The 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program is presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers and the West Virginia Farm Bureau. The deadline is May 3rd. For details, go to WVMetroNews.com to apply. That's WVMetroNews.com. Remember, application deadline is May 3rd.
Charleston police say an early morning standoff ended in an arrest. A man whose name has not been released barricaded himself in an apartment this morning. Charleston Police Deputy Chief Tony Hazlett.
Started some negotiations. After 2.5 hours, he made the decision to come out peacefully. No one was injured.
Turns out that the man was also wanted on an outstanding warrant for malicious wounding. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
Every day, we fight to preserve magnificent places and wildlife, to keep our water and air safe, and to advance clean energy and combat climate change. We're Earth Justice, a national legal nonprofit fighting for your right to a healthy environment. We're Earth Justice, and we're here because the Earth needs a good lawyer. No one fights and wins more cases on the environment than we do. Want to join us in this fight? The time is now. Go to earthjustice.org today. That's earthjustice.org.
This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com.
Welcome back to the show. And again, we're following national news, this shooting at a synagogue, and it's the Temple Israel in Oakland County, Maryland. Now, the sheriff there, Michael Broussard, is giving a press conference as we speak, and he is also echoing what the media reports are saying, that the shooter is believed to be dead in a shootout with security and with police. Now, apparently there was a vehicle that was rammed, that was driven into a synagogue, and then a shooting after that. Details are being released at this time, and the sheriff of Oakland County, Michael Broussard, is giving a press conference as we speak. More on that coming up on your national news at the top of the hour. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. Before we get to your text and phone calls, I am going to say this, and this makes me sound like I'm Dave Weekley, and I'm not trying to sound like Dave Weekley, although I could sound like a lot of people that would be worse than Weekley, to be honest with you. And I'm only saying that and being nice to Dave Weekley because I need a huge favor from Dave Weekley, which I'm going to talk to him about when he gets here. So, Week, if you're listening on your way in, I'm going to ask you for a favor, just so you know. But one of my old high school buddies, shout out Logan High Class of 1988, LaJuan Hampton, gentleman who lives up in Maryland right now, listens to me on the air, listens to the show from Maryland on the app, which, by the way, download the app, WVRC Media app, if you haven't done so already. And, I guess just a little bit of levity here. You see these things that are posted on social media all the time. And basically what they are, it's a way to find out more about you so they can track you even more. But it's things like, which one of the, they'll show pictures of steak, and it'll be like, what's your number? And it'll be like from the most burnt crisp to, almost dead. And which one is it? Well, he posted one of a hot dog, and I've seen this one before, and you have to choose which, and I say this because we're about to enter hot dog grilling season here. Well, I don't know, it was snowing earlier today in Charleston, but you know what I mean. So we're eventually going to get there, but of hot dog grilling season, and he posted, it was a picture, he shared it, of these different, like 9 different ways to cook a hot dog, and you had to choose your number, and 8 or 9 were just charred. I mean, 9 looked like it had come in the charcoal bag, to be honest with you. All right. 8 or 9 was on that. And I fell for it, because I commented, because all these things is a way to get information out of you, to target you for more things. But I fell for it. And one of the things that's interesting to me about people's food choices is that's the way I like my hot dogs. I want them to snap when I bite into it like a Frito. Of course, you can't have Fritos in West Virginia anymore. But that's what that's what. But oddly enough, I want my steak so rare that it's practically mooing. I am going to eventually get to the point where when I order a steak, I'm just going to go out into a field and punch a cow and just eat it there. All right, PETA folks, it was a joke. I was kidding. I'm not going to go hit an animal. But I'm just saying, I want my steak as rare as I want a warning to come on my steak that says if you eat this, it's probably not smart. That's the way I want my steak. But my hot dogs, I want them burned. I don't know, just something sometimes you got to look at other things besides the news all the time. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. Let's get to the text, and your phone calls are always welcome, too. Text says, Hoppy was partially correct earlier. Right now, any qualifying person may purchase a machine gun, but it has to be manufactured prior to 1986. That's what Hoppy said. But, says the texter, that law does not apply to government agencies. So if a government agency transfers a machine gun, the 1986 requirement does not apply, meaning you could buy a new manufactured machine gun at a fraction of the cost, says the texter. Okay, I understand what you're saying there. So you're saying the government would transfer it, and the 86 law would not apply. Okay, I don't know really how they would transfer it, but I understand what you're talking about. Text says, so now these geniuses, speaking of food, in the legislature are now going after pepperoni rolls. What's next, Mountain Dew? You're attacking the very fiber of West Virginia. We talked to TJ about that a little bit earlier. He was just killing it on the Twitter machine last night, updating this. And there were several debates going on, but the ones that are like that are ones that are getting all the attention, including, for morons like me. When they were talking about pepperoni rolls, and it started this whole, and certain members, especially those that tend to be a little bit more northern West Virginia, where pepperoni rolls are a little bit more popular. They're popular in southern West Virginia, don't get me wrong, but not to the extent that they are in northern West Virginia. And that was a back and forth last night. It involved Fritos, and it involved Doritos, and so on and so forth. Just imagine, though, if they legalized cannabis in West Virginia, what kind of debates they'd be having of a legislature right now. You could have my Captain Crunch when you pry my cold dead fingers from around the bowl. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. Text says, cut some of these superintendent salaries and give them to teachers, says a texter. Text says, Larry Pack for governor in 2028. One-on-one against Morrissey, not even close, says a texter. Text says, you and Howard Monroe should have a contest to see who hates Trump more. I do not hate Donald Trump. I voted for Donald Trump twice. I didn't do it in I didn't do it in 2024, but I voted for Donald Trump twice. I do not hate anybody. Okay, maybe fans of the Washington Commanders, New York Giants, and Philadelphia Eagles. But other than that, I don't have any. I want the president to do well. I want Donald Trump to do well. I went off the Trump train a few years ago, okay, mainly after January 6th, and some other things since then. However, I want the president to do well. And we had an interesting little conversation yesterday, and Howard got a little wound up, but that's Howard Monroe, by the way. Cheap plug. Catch him on the Watchdog Radio Network. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK-304. Text is still waiting on pothole repair to be on I-64. Thought it was supposed to happen soon. Well, I don't know what's going on now, but I have left here every day from the studio at 11:11 Virginia Street East in Charleston every late afternoon on my way back to Tays Valley, and I thought every afternoon I was going to get stopped by people, by crews patching potholes, and I have not as of yet. Not saying they're not working, just saying I have not been stopped by them yet. I don't know what area of 64 that texter is talking about, but I have not seen it. Let me see here. The text says $11.3 billion already spent in the week-long war in Iran. So much for fiscal conservatism. Trump is going to run up the debt, increase his wealth through grifting. Then he's going to leave the U.S. busted and broke just like his other businesses, says a texter. Text says, who is this friend of yours, Tony, and why is he disrespecting stick pepperoni and pepperoni rolls? Well, my buddy, my man, Tony the Tailor, Peranzino, owns a shop here in Charleston, cheap plug, West Virginia's finest men's store. And he's very adamant about pepperoni rolls and the way that the way they're supposed to be done. And in the eyes of my buddy Tony, don't ever put cheese on a pepperoni roll. I mean, you may as well have just, punched his mother in the mouth as if to put cheese on a pepperoni roll. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. Text says Trump messed up so bad he has to release oil from the Strategic Reserve, LMAO. I bet MAGAs will still criticize Biden for doing it without feeling the least bit hypocritical. And Biden had to release oil from the Strategic Reserve because Trump flubbed the COVID response so horribly. In fact, so horribly that he was voted out the next year. Text says, Hillbilly CNN. I like that. Somebody on the social media posts that they put up of the discussion I had with Howard Monroe yesterday referred to, I guess that segment as Hillbilly CNN. Well, I'm not a CNN fan because it ceased being real news a long time ago. But the Hillbilly part, yeah, I'll own that, y'all. 243, it's Open Line West Virginia, 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. We'll take a break and come back after this.
Welcome to Biscuit Country, where joy is measured one ladle at a time, where smiles come with a side of gravy, warming the soul. Start your morning at Tudor's Biscuit World with our super breakfast, or dig into the Big Tater, crispy potatoes topped with eggs and bacon, then crowned with savory gravy. And don't forget the classic, gravy over a biscuit. Welcome to Biscuit Country, where at Tudor's, you're always home.
At Glenville State University, we are pioneers. With over 45 undergraduate degree programs, 17 NCAA athletic teams, and countless campus organizations and activities, we're here to help you build your story while becoming a part of ours. Glenville State University, your dream, your future, your story. Visit glenville.edu today for more information.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. Makes you feel defeated. I'm just gonna be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not gonna be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
Hardwood Heat meets the Mountain State in Charleston. The 2026 West Virginia Girls High School Basketball State Championships, presented by Chick-fil-A. Saturday, March 14th. Every possession, every roar of the crowd, every championship moment live on Metro News Television, powered by GoMart. Watch on mobile, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select Samsung Smart TVs. Details at WVMetroNewsTV.com to get in the action.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
On the next State of Minds.
I came here to Morgantown, the WVU. I wanted to play football. Tried to walk on, but I was humbled very quickly. So I joined the WVU forestry team. What my father taught me was the importance of hard work and the importance of sweat equity.
It all comes down to this in Charleston. The 2026 West Virginia Boys High School Basketball State Championships presented by Chick-fil-A. Saturday, March 21st. Every possession, every roar of the crowd, every championship moment. Live on Metro News Television, powered by GoMart. Watch on mobile, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select Samsung Smart TVs. Details at WVMetroNewsTV.com to get in the action.
Head to learn more.
Welcome back to the show. 12 away from 3. It's Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. Texas for Southern West Virginia. How are there going to be services if there's not a tax base? How's there going to be a tax base without businesses? How's there going to be businesses when the people are sold on coal and coal only? I could not agree with that statement anymore. Because, again, what we talked about, what our good friend Pastor Davis is doing down there is great, handing out water. But that's a Band-Aid. That's a temporary thing. The problem, and you hear Mr. Meadows talking about it all the time, and he's absolutely right. The problem is we ain't got enough people. And we ain't got enough working people. And we ain't got enough working people paying into the tax base. There is the problem with a lot of things going on in West Virginia. Text says, didn't Joe Biden allocate money for Southern West Virginia infrastructure, but Trump canceled it because of fiscal responsibility and because Joe Biden sent the money? Ironic now, considering the war in Iran cost $11.3 billion in the first week. Text says the West Virginia legislature is the single most ridiculous group of people I've ever seen in my life. Text says, Dave, you live in Putnam County. Hashtag mayor of Tays Valley. Don't know how often you travel Route 35, but it's terrible and it's new. What happened? You're absolutely right. I travel Route 35 on a semi-regular basis. And yeah, it's not good. And I remember when the fancy 4-lane connecting Putnam County with Mason County, that part of 35, I remember when it was open a few years ago. I attended the ribbon cutting. Governor Justice was there. I was there as well. And I remember it well. And I remember them beginning to work on that road in the early 90s, mid-90s. They started working on that. And it's not good. It's not good at all. Text, remember when Pam Bondi said to focus on the Dow at 50,000 instead of getting caught up on the Epstein files? Well, now the Dow is 46,000. How about the unredacted Epstein files get released, says a texter. Text says, high gasoline prices are good. Don't take my word for it. Donald Trump stated that high oil prices are good because businesses make a lot of money from higher prices. I'm sure West Virginia Republicans agree. I will say this, and I frequently draw on anecdotal information from my past. I did some public relations type work for a convenience store at one point. And I learned more about the convenience store business, gas and things like that, than I ever knew. I was the guy, I walked into my local store and bought whatever I was buying and left, never considered how many different types of Gatorade there really are. But I did learn this. Anytime the gas prices go up, people will always say, well, the oil companies are getting rich or whatever. Well, I wasn't in the oil company part of it, but I can tell you that as somebody who did public relations for a few years for a convenience store chain, they don't like it when gas prices go up at all because they don't make any money on gas. Convenience stores don't make money on gas, not at all. They break even on gas. They make money on things inside the store. And what happens is when gas prices go through the roof, one of two things happen. People either don't drive as much, so they don't need as much gas. People shoplift more, meaning they go in and they think, well, I've only got enough money for gas, so how about I help myself to this giant bag of Snyder potato chips? Or they just get their gas and drive off, which happens a lot, even with cameras. So I'll tell you, convenience store chains and people that actually sell the gas, they hate when gas goes up. They absolutely hate it because they don't make any money on it to begin with. 1-800-765-TALK is the phone number. Text 304-TALK 304. Okay. Text says, Dozy Don, Wake Iran is playing him, says a texter. Text says, notice how, since the military action started in Iran, no one's talking about ICE. Are they continuing to violate basic human rights, or did Holman straighten them out? Just wondering. In Shinston, says a texter. You got a lot of text to get to. You guys are very vocal today. Text says, Dave, I want people to ask themselves, are you satisfied with your utility bill and your grocery bills and the price of gasoline? If not, vote all incumbents out of office. Capito definitely has to go. Text says Harvey Payton should run for governor. I enjoy listening. Hoppy used to refer to Harvey as Mr. Payton as our unpaid legal advisor. He has a show in Charleston. He and his son Tom every Thursday morning at 8:20, where they take questions and calls. And I thoroughly enjoy listening to Harvey Payton. I know Harvey, consider him to be a casual acquaintance, but I enjoy listening to Harvey. I don't always agree with him on everything, but by God, he's definitely entertaining. Text says, I'm not afraid of Iran having a nuclear bomb than I am North Korea, but I'm afraid of what Trump might do with his finger on the nuclear button, and I am not alone. Text says these potholes in southern West Virginia are terrible. I travel Raleigh, Wyoming, Mercer, etc., and it's terrible. Do something. Thanks. What I'll do about it is take a break and come back after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off, or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. Makes you feel defeated. I'm just gonna be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not going to be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
You want to know what West Virginia is talking about?
It's good to be back in Morgantown today.
Now it's different.
I think it's mostly just business.
What I voted for and what I think makes the most sense.
Well, Dave, this has been a bit of a controversy.
I want to thank the caller last week that said I sounded like Hoppy Kercheval. That was flattering.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talk Line on Metro News Television. It all comes down to this in Charleston. The 2026 West Virginia Boys High School Basketball State Championships presented by Chick-fil-A. Saturday, March 21st. Every possession, every roar of the crowd, every championship moment. Live on Metro News Television, powered by GoMart. Watch on mobile, Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, LG TV, and select Samsung Smart TVs. Details at WVMetroNewsTV.com to get in the action.
Town, Charleston to Martinsburg. Our stations are locally programmed, delivering the finest music and robust local news and sports coverage. Experience West Virginia radio like never before. The WVRC Media app. We're proud to live here too.
Welcome back to the show. Parents, grandparents, if you're figuring out how you're going to send that youngin' to college, 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program is up and running. Go to WVMetroNews.com. One high school junior in the state is going to get a full scholarship to Wesleyan, room, board, tuition, and fees. WVMetroNews.com. Click the Apply Now button. Brought to you by Greer Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. WVMetroNews.com. Apply today. The deadline is May 3rd. Look who's here. It's Dave Weekly.
Let's do this thing.
Yes.
Radio. We're both here. Let's do some radio.
Well, here's what we're going to do tomorrow. All right.
What?
Mr. Weekly and I have called Mr. Weekly into duty a little bit early. As you know, every Friday, Dave, I do a thing that we call the Weekend Sports Blitz, getting you ready for the weekend in sports. And guess who's going to do the Weekend Sports Blitz with me tomorrow?
Well, I guess I will.
David Seymour Weekly will be doing the show tomorrow.
I don't remember agreeing to this.
Okay, you actually did earlier because I said there might be food involved. You said I'll do it.
Oh, I'll be here then.
Yeah. We'll have a little fun, man. Back and forth. Talk about the
sporty sports.
The sporty sport. We'll have the boys' state tournament field set by that time. We'll have the girls. We won't have all the championship games set, but we will have some more action from the girls to talk about. We'll talk about the weekend in college basketball, some of the big games. And of course, we'll keep an eye on what the Mountaineer ladies, where they're going to go.
I'll be jabbing you about the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm drinking out of my Cowboys glass here.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, all right.
No, that'll be fun tomorrow.
Yeah, so the Dave and Dave show tomorrow. And
can we get more Daves in the show?
Wilson will be around Charleston tomorrow. We'll see if we can bring him in somewhere. That'll be coming up on tomorrow's show. What you got quickly today on your show?
We're talking about WVU basketball.
Okay.
What are reasonable expectations?
Okay.
You know? What did you think of the game last night? We'll get into it.
And did I see you're also talking about ice cream sticks, Eskimo pies?
Eskimo pie. The inventor of the Eskimo pie was born on this date.
All right. That's coming up on Hotline Media, same Metro News Station. See you tomorrow. Till then, have fun and love somebody.